There is an urgency for them to get married in Morocco so that they can give May a little more stability in the consistency a child May's age needs instead of, this back and forth, back and forth.
That is a woman in Casablanca during a global pandemic, with international flights canceled, telling a camera crew that her toddler daughter, who is in a different hemisphere with the grandmother, is fine. The toddler's name is May. The woman's name is Nicole Nafziger. This is, depending on how you count, either the 4th or 5th season of the franchise pretending not to notice.
Going to go directly to Morocco from there?
No, I won't go straight to Morocco. I'll come back here, probably for like a month, maybe a little bit longer. And then I'm probably going to travel back to Morocco.
And you think?
Nicole is 24. She works at a Florida Taco Bell. She has one daughter, May, whose father is an ex-fiancé, not on the show, not in the picture. She has saved a little money. Most of the money becomes a flight. The flight becomes Morocco. Morocco becomes Azan Tefou, 21, tall, from the city of Touroudant, whom she met on a dating app called Sky ID, which is, and I want to be clear, an honest name, Sky ID.
To get married, we've decided to try and open a beauty shop.
Oh my gosh. Basically, you're just going to kind of give up on your dream of having this big, beautiful wedding. I would really, really love
Beauty store, $6,000 American dollars of Nicole's wedding fund savings handed to Azan on camera for a beauty store in Morocco. For Azan to open. For Azan to run. Which Azan, a 21-year-old with no retail experience in a country whose formal small business registration process is, I have looked it up, genuinely arduous, was about to launch out of a cell phone. The beauty store did not open. The beauty store never opened. The beauty store has, as a matter of public record, never existed.
to see the store.
I know that, but we want you to see it like when it's ready.
It would be nice to know what happened to all the money. Where did it go?
Nicole put on this business around $6,000, and I put like
$6,000 from a woman making $11 an hour with a toddler who is telling her daughter at bedtime that mommy is saving $6,000 in a used car. $6,000 is a community college year. $6,000 is a down payment on a small apartment somewhere May could have her own room. $6,000 is not the entry price on a beauty emporium in a country Nicole cannot locate on a paper.
That back. But he seemed very disappointed that your mother would not help you, but he didn't seem surprised.
No, he wasn't surprised either.
Robbalee, do you want your daughter to go through with this marriage?
Well,
and here is where every previous essay about Nicole has gone soft. Every previous essay has said, poor Nicole, she was manipulated. Poor Nicole, Azan was a predator. Poor Nicole, she did not know. Nicole knew. Nicole went back. Nicole flew to Morocco, flew home, flew to Morocco, flew home 3 times, 4 times, 5. And each of those flights was a decision. Each of those flights was a calendar Nicole filled in. Each of those flights was a weekend Nicole was not at her daughter's ballet recital because the man in Touroudant had asked.
I am not convinced that Azan loves Nicole.
All right.
And what is the one thing that makes you feel that way?
Hearing him talk. I see the look on his face. When someone is in love, they're animated.
I love the syllables are compact. The reasoning is not. Nicole loves this man the way some people love a job that is paying them in exposure. The love is real enough to fund. It is not real enough, evidently, to demand that the recipient obtain a passport stamp and a U.S. visa appointment, which is the thing a partner does when a partner calls for purpose and says it is not in the gift of the child better than anyone. It is not in the gift of the center. No.
But I haven't told my family because my family does nothing but grow me. I wish that the K-1 visa had actually gone through because I feel like now I'm just like doing this waiting.
Azan's K-1 visa application was denied. This is a public fact. The paperwork went in, the consulate did an interview, the consulate said no. And in the universe of 90 Day Fiancé, where even Angela Deem eventually got Michael to the airport, Azan did not even clear the first bureaucratic gate. He was, by every procedural measure, a fiancé who never fiancéed.
I'm glad I got some money back from our canceled Grenada trip because now I can use that to come to Morocco.
The airport scene is the canonical one. Nicole at the Moroccan airport, waiting. Azan, nowhere. Azan late. Azan unreachable. Azan, it turns out, already gone. The narration cues strings. The producers cut to Nicole crying into a scarf. And the scene reads on first watch as a woman betrayed. On the 10th watch, it reads as a woman getting exactly the information she has been insisting to everyone around her she was not getting. The consensus read is scam. Nicole was scammed. Azan ran a long con. But a scam, to be a scam, requires a mark who does not know. And Nicole was warned by her mother, on camera, repeatedly, and by Azan in subtitle, explicitly, and by the Moroccan in-laws.
I don't care. But that's me being a mom. It's my prerogative. I can be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And one day you're going to be a mom of a teenager. And
Here's where Robbalee comes in, Nicole's mother. Robbalee, who has the loudest voice in every scene she is in, who, when the question of Nicole leaving May in Florida for another multi-month Morocco trip surfaces on camera, says, not defensively, not apologetically, with the full weight of a woman who has had this argument before, that May is fine, because May is with her. The co-author of the arrangement is the grandmother who agreed every single time.
I defend him to my family. I don't let everything be seen. I try to make sure that everything is fine. Because I love him and I want everything.
I miss her in a hotel room in Morocco on her phone while not booking the return flight. The verb miss, transitive, requires an object that is not present. The object was not present because of the subject's own itinerary. This is, linguistically, the least honest sentence in 5 seasons of television.
See, how things are there.
Is that the only
That and
reason?
vacation,
Vacation.
which is always a good reason for me.
Jeez, I thought you'd been on vacation ever since you got back from Morocco.
COVID, 2020. The world's airports closed, the borders freeze, the pandemic begins, and Nicole is in Morocco with Azan, not by accident, by choice. She'd arrived weeks before the lockdown. She had a window to leave. She did not leave. She stayed, and the stay extended and extended into months. Months in which May, age 5, was in Florida with Robbalee on FaceTime, being told her mother could not come home because the airlines, which is the phrase Nicole used, the airlines.
Why did y'all decide to push it off?
We decided to just start a shop or something to get an income and then kind of.
I tried, Nicole's preferred verb. Not I got, not I did. I tried. I tried to get home. I tried to book. I tried to reach the embassy. The triedness is the protective coding. It is the phrase that splits the difference between effort and inaction. And in the split, Nicole gets to live forever. Because trying is not measurable. Trying is a feeling. Trying is, in this one woman's mouth, the entire vocabulary of a mother explaining a custody decision she has not yet.
I don't know about her meeting Azan in Grenada. I don't think he really cares for her. I think he's been stringing her along the whole time. And she's sending him money continuously.
Taco Bell, Nicole's job, before the show, during the show, between seasons. Nicole worked at a Taco Bell in Florida and wired her paychecks in fragments to Morocco for a beauty store, to a fiancé, under a visa regime that would not have him, and the franchise ran the footage without ever once sitting down with the financial advisor on camera to ask, should we, as a matter of public conscience, perhaps not broadcast this transaction?
Thing again, and like I'm okay living in Morocco, but I'm not even there. I'm waiting to go back to Morocco because money and stuff, and it sucks.
I do think she's very sad. I've heard.
And here is the receipt the Reddit sleuths uncovered that never made the final cut of any episode. The $6,000, the beauty store money, was rumored on multiple threads to have been the dowry required to finalize Azan's prior divorce from a Moroccan woman he had married first, whom Nicole had not known about, who lived in Terudant, in a house adjacent to the house Nicole was visiting, and whose name did not appear in any American production document. The story, if true, is not that Azan stole Nicole's money. The story is that Azan used Nicole's money to finish the marriage he was already in.
100.
I'd like to see that it's for real.
Mom, there is a shop. It is happening.
So then how's the shop going?
Scam, the word the fans reached for. But a scam describes a victim, and the victim frame in reality television is a kind of co-production credit. Nicole did not get taken. Nicole got cast. And the franchise paid Nicole a per-episode fee to perform a betrayal she was, in real life, purchasing with her own savings.
It's frustrating that, things happen with the trip, with getting canceled and his family emergency. All I wanted to do was see Azan and have our spark back. Thank you so much. At the end of the bar.
Second pivot. Because the real cost of this 5-year arc is not Nicole's money. The real cost is not Azan's story. The real cost is a little girl in Florida whose developmental years were measured by the number of her mother's Casablanca layovers. May did not sign a release form. May was a child. May appeared on a television show because the grown-ups in her life decided that the content rights to her childhood could be monetized at cable rates.
Yeah, I hear this and I hear that. Why are you wasting money going to Grenada?
Well, we want to go to another country that isn't Morocco
And then it got uglier. Post-split 2022 onward, Nicole has been caught multiple times, documented by fans, in screenshots posting fake clickbait headlines implying that May is dead or sick or missing in order to drive traffic to affiliate links. Her own daughter, the one the camera cried about, the one the franchise pitched as the stakes, now a headline on a monetized blog post announcing falsely her own death.
I don't think it's an ideal situation. I think it needs a little more revisiting. I know you love him, but I'm not convinced on the other side.
You're not convinced that Azan loves Nicole?
Clickbait, a word we use casually because the internet has numbed us to it. But clickbait with a child's name in the headline is a specific kind of choice. Clickbait using a sick child premise to generate per-click revenue is a specific kind of choice. A mother doing that about her own living daughter so that Amazon affiliate links under the headline might, statistically, convert a sympathetic reader into a buyer of a $40 blanket is a choice that is not recoverable with a teary reunion scene.
It's going. It's a shop. Even though I told my mom that we were talking about opening a store, we never winded up going through with it.
So there is no store?
There is.
The beauty store, too, never went away. In follow-up specials, in reunion interviews, the beauty store is still referenced by Nicole, not by Azan. Nicole will bring it up, uncoaxed, unprompted, 6 years after the wire transfer. As if saying the phrase enough times will materialize a storefront in Terudant that never, in any Google Maps satellite pass, has existed.
Robbalee, are you still dead set against helping Nicole financially to get Azan over here?
Yes.
You will not help one penny?
Because
that is the split, the one Nicole announced quietly in July of 2021. 5 years after the first Sky ID message, 5 years of flights, 5 years of Taco Bell shifts, 5 years of May with Grandma, 5 years of ambient custody drift that nobody, not the franchise, not the mother, not the man, ever called what it was.
I feel like this is something she needs to do on her own. She's going to have to dig deep for this one.
All right. We have lost our connection with Azan, and we are trying to get...
Postscript. Azan is not Azan. Azan's actual, legal, on his passport name is Hassan Meters Rumi. Azan was a branding decision. A stage name, a persona designed explicitly for an American dating audience. The franchise promoted a man under a name that did not belong to him, and when the marriage failed to launch, neither TLC nor Nicole ever clarified that half of the on-screen identity was costume. Walk back, owed. Nicole is not a monster. Nicole is a young mother who fell hard for somebody at an age when a hard fall is normal, and the catastrophe of her life is that the country offered her a television show instead of a therapist. She is a person. May is a person. Azan or Hassan is a person. Every single one of them would be better off if TLC had never returned the casting call. The franchise turned a bad boyfriend into a 5-season branding opportunity and handed the bill to a toddler. But that does not make Nicole the victim of her own calendar. So here is the kicker, and here is where the episode has been headed since the cold open. You can call it naïveté, you can call it love, you can call it getting scammed, you can call it 5 seasons of television. But every Sunday night, when the episode cut to May on her grandmother's couch, waving at the phone, asking if mommy was coming home soon, that was not a woman being tricked. That was a woman who had already answered the question, and the answer was in the boarding pass. Nicole did not lose her...
I know my family's been asking about like what your family emergency is, but I keep telling them that, you know, you and your family didn't want to talk about, so. My family's been pushy to know what Azan.
And May, if you want the last receipt, is now old enough to read this. May is a person. May has a phone. May has Google. May can, at any point in a middle school lunch period, pull out a device and watch any of the dozens of episodes in which her mother, in a hotel room in Morocco, in a lobby in Casablanca, in a confessional in Fort Meade, chose Azan instead of her. May has access to all of it. It was filmed for her, whether her mother meant to or not.
Family emergency was, but as the family matter that he wanted to keep private. And whether they believe it or not, it's not my business to tell Azan's family's personal stuff, so.
And Robbalee, because a word about grandma, Robbalee has been cast in most takes as a loud, defensive, enabling mother. But Robbalee is also the adult who stayed. Robbalee is the adult who did school drop-off. Robbalee is the adult who, while Nicole was gone, held the routine of a small girl's life together with 2 hands and a bowl of cereal. If the franchise wants a hero in this story, the franchise already had one, and she was at home in Florida. Raising the child the lead was not raising. The franchise will never center Robbalee. Robbalee is not camera ready. Robbalee raises her voice. Robbalee is a grandmother in jeans. She does not test well with the 18 to 34 demographic. So the genre built an entire 5-season narrative around the daughter who kept leaving, instead of the mother who kept covering. The wrong protagonist got the airtime. The right one got the dishes. The kicker, because we promised one. And the kicker is not about Azan. And it is not about Nicole's choices. And it is not even about Robbalee. The kicker is this. A little girl in Fort Meade, Florida, was for 5 consecutive years of her childhood the B-plot of a television show about her own mother. The A-plot was in Morocco. The love interest was in Morocco. The budget was in Morocco. The stakes were in Morocco. The camera crew was in Morocco. And the toddler, the person the entire story said it was about, was at home, eating dinner with her grandmother, wondering, in 5 consecutive Novembers, when Mom would land. That is not a love story. That is a custody hearing in which the mother, uniquely, declined to appear. If you made it this far, you either love me or you're looking for something to yell about in the comments. Either way, like, subscribe, and tell your